Viewers, hello and welcome. In today's video, we're going to tell you about a man who used to kill people and then leave a message saying, "I enjoy killing people." This video is going to be a long one, so without wasting any more time, let's move straight to it. If you're new to our channel, don't forget to subscribe and share this video with your friends so that all our upcoming interesting videos reach you on time. San Francisco, late 1960s, an era filled with music, freedom, and revolution. The counterculture was alive. The streets of Haight-Ashbury were vibrant with change. But beneath that wave of optimism, something sinister was lurking in the shadows of Northern California. A man who called himself the Zodiac. He was not just a killer but a manipulator, a mysterious figure who played a terrifying game with the police and the public. This is the story of one of the most chilling and unsolved cases in American history, the Zodiac Killer. It all began quietly. On December 20th, 1968, a young couple, Betty Lou Jensen and David Faraday, drove to a remote lover's lane on Lake Herman Road, near Benicio, California. What started as an innocent night ended in horror. Both were shot and killed in what seemed like a senseless attack. The small community was shaken, but no one knew that this was only the beginning. Just a few months later, on July 4th, 1969, another young couple, Darlene Farron and Michael Mago, were parked in Vallejo when a man approached their car and opened fire. Mago miraculously survived and gave the first real description of the shooter: a heavy-set man, possibly in his 30s, with short hair and a calm, deliberate voice. Then came the letters. On August 1st, 1969, 3 Bay Area newspapers, the Vallejo Times-Herald, the San Francisco Examiner, and the San Francisco Chronicle, received nearly identical letters from a man claiming responsibility for the recent murders. Each letter contained details that only the killer could know, along with 1/3 of a cryptic cipher. The writer demanded the papers publish his messages on their front pages or he would cruise around all weekend killing lone people in the night. Letters were signed with an unusual symbol, a circle with a cross through it, a mark that would soon become infamous. The newspapers complied, and the ciphers were printed. Amateur and professional codebreakers alike tried to decode the strange symbols. Within a week, a local schoolteacher named Donald Harden and his wife Betty cracked the code. The message was disturbing. "I like killing people because it is so much fun." It ended with the chilling phrase, "I will not give you my name, because you will try to slow me down." The cryptic arrogance of the letter stunned the public. The killer seemed to enjoy the attention and the fear he was creating. Months later, the Zodiac struck again, but this time, his crime was even stranger. On September 27, 1969, at Lake Berryessa, college students Brian Hartnell and Cecilia Shepard were picnicking near the water when a man appeared wearing a black hood with a white cross circle symbol on his chest. He held them at gunpoint, tied them up, and then stabbed them repeatedly. Before leaving, he drew his symbol and listed previous murders on Hartnell's car door. Signing it with Zodiac, Shepard died 2 days later. Hartnell survived and gave a chilling account of the attack. For the first time, the Zodiac had revealed a more theatrical side, almost as if he wanted his crimes to be remembered as performances. Just 2 weeks later, on October 11, 1969, a San Francisco taxi driver named Paul Stein picked up a fare in the city's theater district. The ride ended at Presidio Heights, where the passenger suddenly shot Stein in the head, stole a piece of his shirt, and vanished into the night. Witnesses described seeing a man calmly walking away. Police quickly flooded the area, but made a tragic mistake. An incorrect radio call described the suspect as a black man. Officers briefly stopped a white man, matching the Zodiac's description, but let him go. Later, the San Francisco Chronicle received another letter. This one containing a piece of Stein's bloodstained shirt. There was no doubt. The Zodiac had killed again. The police were under immense pressure. Multiple jurisdictions, Vallejo, Benicia, Napa, and San Francisco, were all investigating connected murders, but coordination was difficult. Without centralized databases or digital communication, vital information was slow to share. The Zodiac exploited that confusion, sending more letters, mocking police, and claiming he would target school buses next. Parents became terrified. Children were escorted to buses under police protection. Fear had spread across the Bay Area like wildfire. The Zodiac ciphers continued to arrive, each more cryptic than the last. His infamous 340 cipher, sent in November 1969, remained unsolved for over 50 years. His letters often contained puzzles, astrological symbols, and riddles about his identity. He called himself Zodiac and referred to people as slaves he would collect in the afterlife. Sometimes he bragged about more murders that were never confirmed. Other times, he threatened more violence that never happened. Detectives didn't know what to believe. Was he a genius, a madman, or a narcissist craving control and attention? Over time, police developed a list of suspects. One name stood out: Arthur Lee Allen, a former schoolteacher from Vallejo. Allen owned a Zodiac brand wristwatch with the same cross-circle logo, was familiar with cryptography, and had been accused of inappropriate behavior in the past. When police searched his home, they found disturbing materials, but no definitive evidence. His handwriting didn't match the letters, and his fingerprints weren't a clear match either. Despite years of suspicion, Allen was never charged and died in 1992. To this day, some believe he was the Zodiac. Others are convinced he was simply a convenient suspect. The case dragged on into the 1970s, with more letters arriving sporadically. Some were authenticated. Others were believed to be hoaxes. The Zodiac even claimed he had planted a bomb somewhere in San Francisco, but none was ever found. His letters became less frequent, and eventually, they stopped altogether. But the mystery never faded. Books, films, and documentaries reignited public interest again and again. The killer's blend of mystery, mathematics, and manipulation turned him into a dark legend. Decades later, in 2020, a team of amateur codebreakers using computer algorithms finally cracked the 340-character cipher that had baffled experts for years. The message read in part, "I hope you are having lots of fun in trying to catch me. I'm not afraid of the gas chamber, because it will send me to paradise all the sooner." The solution confirmed what many had suspected: the Zodiac enjoyed the power his words had over the world. But even with modern technology, the cipher offered no clues to his real identity. In recent years, investigators have turned to DNA technology, hoping that the same methods that caught other serial killers like the Golden State Killer could unmask the Zodiac. Forensic teams have tested envelopes and stamps from the killer's letters, but so far, the results have been inconclusive. Some genetic material appears to come from other people, possibly those who handled the letters after they arrived at newsrooms. The passage of time, contamination, and degradation have made it difficult to isolate a clear profile. While the Zodiac may have vanished, his impact never did. The victims' families endured decades of pain, unanswered questions, and media intrusion. For them, the Zodiac wasn't a mystery. He was the man who took away someone they loved. Every headline, every new breakthrough, reopens the wound. Yet the families also inspired a new generation of investigators who refuse to give up until the truth is found. The Zodiac case also changed how police handle serial crimes. It exposed the dangers of poor communication between agencies and demonstrated the power and the curse of media attention. By publishing the Zodiac's letters, newspapers helped spread fear, but also ensured the public remained engaged. It became one of the first true crime stories of the modern era, blending police work, journalism, and public obsession into one ongoing narrative. Culturally, the Zodiac became a symbol of mystery itself. He influenced movies, television, and literature, from gritty detective stories to Hollywood thrillers. But while entertainment often glorified his intelligence, the real story is one of human loss and investigative frustration. Behind the codes and symbols are real people: Betty Lou, David, Darlene, Cecilia, Brian, and Paul, victims whose names deserve to be remembered more than the killers. Why was the Zodiac never caught? The answer lies in a combination of timing, technology, and cunning. The late 1960s lacked modern forensic tools, fingerprint databases were limited, and communication between counties was slow. The killer also seemed to study how police worked and deliberately exploited their weaknesses. Each attack occurred in a different jurisdiction, forcing agencies to start from scratch every time. The result was a fragmented investigation and a criminal who vanished before anyone could catch up. Even now, over 50 years later, the Zodiac case remains officially open in several California counties. Every few years, someone claims to have discovered the killer's true identity, but those claims often crumble under scrutiny. The mystery endures, as unsolved and haunting as ever. The internet has given rise to thousands of amateur sleuths, decoding, debating, and analyzing every word, every symbol. Some have dedicated decades of their lives to finding answers, yet the truth still lies somewhere between evidence and myth. The Zodiac Killer teaches us more than just fear. It reveals how human beings react to uncertainty. When facts are scarce, imagination fills the gaps. When justice stalls, obsession begins. The case reminds us that evil can hide in plain sight, in a friendly neighbor, a stranger on the bus, or a face in the crowd. It also shows how the quest for answers can consume those who chase them. Today, the Zodiac remains a ghost of American crime, a shadow that shaped law enforcement, media ethics, and public psychology. His crimes were brutal, but his manipulation was even more chilling. He turned murder into a message, fear into fame, and mystery into immortality. More than half a century later, people still ask, who was the Zodiac? A lone psychopath, a genius trickster, a man hiding in the suburbs, reading about himself every morning? Perhaps we'll never know, but one thing is certain: his story will never fully fade. As long as questions remain, as long as the final cipher is unsolved, the Zodiac will remain the most haunting riddle in American criminal history. And so, as the fog rolls over the San Francisco Bay, we're left with silence, the same silence that's lasted since his final letter. Maybe the Zodiac is gone, long dead, buried under a name no one will ever connect. Or maybe he's been watching all along, pleased that half a century later, the world still whispers his name. Thank you for watching. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more deep historical investigations. And most importantly, remember the victims, not the killer. Because the true story of the Zodiac isn't about codes or ciphers. It's about people whose lives were stolen by a man who wanted to be a legend. And in that, tragically, he succeeded.